You don't have to wait for next week to find out what TEFRA is, because on the break, Karen, you looked up that silly long initials for everything.
Honestly, sometimes I think I forget more than I ever remembered in the first place, but it is the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, TEFRA. And it was actually 1982, and so that's why in 1983 things changed.
So but the grandfathering is great. Well, like for you, for your grandfather with the 4 granddaughters, let's finish that story.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, so the reason that we even brought up TEFRA is because cash value life insurance has the tax benefits. That's one of the reasons why we love it so much.
Okay.
And we mentioned that, you know, right now, because of 7702, which is a tax code, which gives life insurance, the cash value life insurance, the current tax-free benefits that it has. That's why we believe that it will be grandfathered in should things change in the future.
Gotcha.
Now, that is the solution for his granddaughters, but unfortunately, he lived a great long life, but passed away. Yeah. And so then he had, remember, this is a legacy episode, he had a legacy plan to distribute his wealth to his 2 children.
Gotcha.
He had a daughter who was a teacher and a son who was in the military. And we sat down with each of them independently. And with the daughter, because she was a teacher, she was going to have a pension. But there was a little bit of a gap in that income that she would have. And so in sitting down and first doing the GPS, which again is growth, protection, and savings, doing that model so she could see where everything was, we helped her understand the opportunity with this money now that she was getting from Dad. In her particular situation, we also purchased some life insurance because in the power of 3, that life insurance is the very thing that gives them the liquidity and the access that then allows the other assets to stay invested and get rewarded for taking the risk that it's taking. As we built out the guaranteed income, she said, you know what, I know I'm getting a pension and I know my expenses are covered with guaranteed income, but I don't have any children. So I actually want more checks. And we have a colleague that many of you may have heard from, heard about. His name is 𝗁𝙗𝙗𝙗, and he wrote a book called Paychecks and Playchecks. And in this book, and in his thinking and his theology, it says, yes, you need to have a paycheck to cover the income you walked away from work, but why not have a playcheck?
I love that.
And so this is what we set up for Carolyn. She now has more guaranteed income than she needs because remember, with that guaranteed income solution, you get the opportunity every month to save it, spend it, or give it away. And so every month, if she needs to spend it, she can spend it. If she wants to save it, she can save it. If she wants to give it away, probably going to give it to those 4 nieces because she loves them.
Lucky little nieces. Or some charity that she really cares about.
Well, and she's incredibly passionate about giving. And so one of the things that she recognized is that rather than waiting to leave her legacy, if we created those play checks for her, she got to create it during her life when she could enjoy it.
And watch the good that it's doing.
And watch the involvement with the church and how it was growing. And
the SPCA, that she's very passionate about the SPCA. So that was her.
But it's so interesting because for her, she doesn't have any children. And so her desire for the dollars was very different than her brother.
And the military, the military guy, did he have children?
He's the one with the 4 daughters.
Girls.
Oh, gotcha.
Those are his children. Exactly. So we helped Grandpa first, then we helped the granddaughters. And because of the work that we did with Grandpa and the granddaughters, both the son and the daughter came to us and said, we respect the work that you have done for our father and certainly what you've done for my 4 girls. What can you do for us? And so again, with the brother, we sat down, did the GPS, went through the steps, begin with the end in mind. What are we trying to create?
And for him, this was a really important conversation because remember, he's getting a pension and his pension alone was going to be able to cover his guaranteed expenses.
Awesome.
So for him, we wanted to look at the guaranteed income and say, what else could it allow him to do? You know, they are a family that absolutely loves to travel. And so for him, similar to his sister creating a guaranteed play check, we created a guaranteed travel check.
I love it.
He knows that every single year he has the opportunity to take these trips that he was passionate about without any fear or reservation about what's happening with the market. I mean, the best time to go on a trip was not at the beginning of this year when all of your assets were declining. But for him, He didn't have to worry about it because he knew that his guaranteed travel check was coming to him to be able to enjoy. But that's only one portion of what we wanted to help him with. For him, he had invested a lot of money over time, and when he was ready to retire, we said, look, this life insurance piece is missing, and so we want to play catch up. You know, a lot of times, and I said it at the beginning of an episode, the best time to buy life insurance is before you need it, right? When you're young and healthy. But there are strategies where when you are approaching retirement or just in retirement,
you can still get life insurance.
You can still get life insurance, and we fund it with a short-term funding for it, which continues to give you the tax-free benefits and the access to the cash. But again, there's a protection piece that we can't ignore. You know, I think that you have a really interesting perspective about life insurance that obviously you've shared with me and we share with our clients. That is, the presence of the death benefit gives you permission to do something that you might not otherwise be able to do.
I'm not sure I can tell it in a minute.
Oh, no, we're at the end.
We're going to save that for another episode because it is absolutely a great story. But right now, for each and every one of you watching, first of all, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for week after week watching our show, sending in the comments that you've sent in. Those that have reached out to us already, we are thrilled to be helping you. But we want to help each one of you watching this episode as well. So I want you to pick up the phone right now. It's probably in your lap or sitting right on the table next to you, so pick it up. There's a QR code on the screen. You can put your phone into camera mode, point it to the TV. This is something I've learned from my daughter. Get the QR code, which will take you to our website, but call 855-348-3073 so that you can have an opportunity to have that conversation with us. We certainly want to have it with you.
And it really is no cost, no obligation at all, just a warm conversation. See if they're the right fit for you and vice versa. Thanks again for joining us. Keep reaching out to us. We love your questions, and maybe you'll hear them on the air. We'll see you next week.